I made these shorts in just under an hour, and honestly, they make the perfect beginner-friendly project. Hey guys, I'm Tammy and welcome back to my channel. I really wanted to sew some cute shorts today, so I thought I'd take you along as I sew the henna shorts pattern. Shorts is actually probably the most easiest garment to sew, especially if you're a beginner. So I've got my pattern that I'm linked down below that I'm going to sew in this video. It's called the henna shorts. You can use any shorts pattern to follow this tutorial, but this one has a front and a back pattern piece, and it also has pockets as well. If you're completely new to sewing, I definitely recommend checking out that pattern. I've linked it down below. It's going to be super easy to follow, and they're really versatile shorts that you can wear during the day or even as pajamas. Now I'm going to be using this fabric right here. I absolutely love sewing with gingham. It's basically a cotton fabric with this really cute square detail. It's a really pretty like mustardy color, and this is going to make such a cute pair of summer shorts. But basically choose any fabric that's like cotton, linen or viscose. These will be the easiest to work with for a shorts pattern like this. So I've gone ahead and cut out my fabric. So I've got 2 for the front, which is right here. And then I've also got 2 for the back, which I've got right here as well. The back one actually has a deeper curve at the crotch. You'll be able to see it on the pattern piece. And then we'll also need 4 pockets. So I cut out 4 pockets at once and they look like this. It just makes it a really easy way to add inseam pockets. Now the first thing we have to do is actually finish the side seam edges. So this curve right here, that's going to be the crotch curve, and the seam down here is the inner leg. Whereas this side seam right here, that straight line, that's what we're going to finish with an overlocker or a zigzag stitch, just to neaten it before we put on the pockets. So I'm going to do that for the front and the back pieces. And then to make everything really neat, I'm also going to neaten the edges of the pocket. So literally go all the way around this shape with an overlocker, or you can use a zigzag stitch. That just helps it prevent it from fraying. So I've gone ahead and used the overlocker to finish off the side seam edges. That is what that looks like on the overlocker. You definitely can use a zigzag stitch. It just makes it look a lot neater and more professional when you use an overlocker. But I know when you're a complete beginner, you don't normally have an overlocker, so just use a zigzag stitch or even pinking shears. And then I've also got the pocket pieces that I overlocked around the entire edge. I like to do it in one swoop just because I find it easier like that on the overlocker. But now we've finished all the raw edges like that, it will just make it so much neater when we're sewing the shorts. So let's go ahead and attach the pocket. Now for this next step, we're going to want 1 front piece and 1 back piece in front of us with the right side of the fabric facing up. The cool thing about using gingham cotton like this, the right and the wrong side doesn't have a difference, so you can just use any side. But here you can see we've aligned the side seams facing next to each other. Then we want to make a mark where the pocket notch was. I can see where it is here. If you found that you've lost that, you basically want to mark 4 inches or 10 centimeters down from the top waist. So here I've made those 2 marks. And then what we're going to do is with the pocket facing right side down, we're going to align the edge of the pocket with that notch. And I'm just going to clip this in place. And then we're going to do the exact same for the other side. So line up that notch with the top of the pocket like that. And now we'll have our pockets attached to our shorts. We're going to sew this bit with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now I've got 1 short in front of me, it doesn't matter which one right now, but what we want to do is fold the pocket over now that we've sewn it and just press it in place with an iron. So just like this. And now that we've done that, it's pressed really neatly, we're going to go to our sewing machine and sew really close to this folded edge right here on the pocket just to keep it in place. I'm going to repeat that for all the pockets and the shorts. Now I've got an example of what I just did to show you up close, but right here, hopefully you can see that this line right here, that's where I've stitched on the pocket to secure it to the seam allowance. It just means that when you fold the pockets over in the next step, when you put your hands in your pockets as you're wearing them, they won't flap out and things like that. I definitely recommend, if you are a complete beginner, to sew shorts as your first project, because it means you can make something you're actually going to wear straight away, and this pattern is super easy to follow. So now we're going to go ahead and sew the pocket and the side seam of the shorts. So I've got one front short in front of me, and this is the right side facing up. You can see the pocket has that nice stitching. What we're going to do now is take the corresponding back piece and lay it right side facing down like this, so you can see that the pockets line up, and so does that side seam. So this is a back short and this is the front short, and when we lay this back piece on top, this has got the wrong side facing up, and if I just turn it to the right side, you can see that nice stitching detail is touching each other. And then I'm going to take some pins and pin around the top side seam all the way around and back down. Now that's been pinned in place, I'm going to use a 1/2 inch seam allowance and sew all the way around the pocket and back down. So now that we've done that, let's just open up our shorts like this. And I'm going to flip the pocket towards the front short, and we know which side is the front short because the curve is narrower. I'm just going to smooth this down, and then I'm going to press the seam nice and flat. And now we can see that we've got a nice pocket facing towards the front short. So I've just gone ahead and repeated the exact same steps for the other short. So this is one short we've got right here, and then the other short will be the exact reverse of that, and it is this one right here. So basically one of these is going to become the left leg and the other is going to become the right leg. Now we're going to sew the inner leg seam, and you'll start to see the shorts come together. So I've got one short right here, and what I'm going to do is literally with right sides together, so this is the right side facing up, I'm going to flip one short over the other, and I'm going to pin this seam right here. So if I just rearrange this so it's really nice and clear, you can see this is the seam that we've just pinned. This is the inner leg seam. We've got the pocket over there, and this is the crotch curve up here. We're going to sew this inner leg seam only with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then finish the raw edge with an overlocker or a zigzag stitch. Now I've gone ahead and sewn that crotch curve, so you can see that is what that looks like. I've just sewn it on the sewing machine, and then I've also finished that raw edge using the overlocker. Again, you can just use a zigzag stitch or pinking shears, and the shorts should look something like that now. So this is the left leg, and we also have the right leg that I've also just done. The next step is probably the most complicated part of the entire process, and that involves sewing the crotch seam, so the thing that goes over and around your bum. Honestly, once you do it once, it's so much easier to understand. But what we want to do is take one of our legs and turn it right side out. So I'm just gonna turn this to the right side. So here you can see I've turned the leg right side out, and that just means the right side of the fabric is facing out. And then I've kept the other leg inside out, so the wrong side of the fabric is facing out. So I've got the leg that's inside out in front of me, and I've got the other leg that is the right side out in front of me. And what I'm gonna do is place the one that's right side out inside the other one. So if I open up the one like this, and I'm going to just take my right side out one and put it inside, what we're eventually going to do is align the crotch seam, this inner leg seam. So as I said, I'm going to put it in here, and you can see this is the inner leg seam, that short seam we just sewed, and here is the other inner leg seam we just sewed. We're going to align them together. So that tip right here, we're going to align with this tip right here. And as I'm doing that, I'm pushing the shorts inside the other one. I'm just going to align those tips like that. And then again, I'm pushing the shorts inside the other one. So you can see it's inside the shorts more. What we're going to do now is align the front waist edge with the shorts front waist edge as well. So align them both together because they're now facing each other inside the pant. And then the easiest way I found to do this is take that inner leg seam we just pinned and the waist seam we just pinned and pull the shorts like that. And as we do that, the two pieces of fabric are now touching each other, and we're just going to clip it in place like this. And then again, place your hand here, that inner leg curve, and use your hand to just put the rest of the shorts inside. And again, we're going to clip the two back pieces together at the waist. And then again, hold the inner leg curve here in the back waist and just pull it slightly. And now the curve is aligned on both fabric pieces. Again, pin that in place. And as we've done that, if I just shake this out, you can see the shorts has gone inside the other one, and we've clipped this U curve right here. That's the crotch curve that goes up and around your front and your bum. Now what I'm going to do is sew this curve all the way around the front and the back like that, using a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then finish the seam with an overlocker just like I did at this inner leg curve. So when we take this to the sewing machine, we're going to open it out like this, and we're going to start up here, go all the way around to the back. So now let me show you what that crotch curve looks like now that I've sewn it and I've also overlocked it. That is what the crotch curve looks like. If I just give you a close up, so you can see here again, I overlocked the edge all the way around that crotch curve, and I obviously sewed it as well. Now this is the fun part. We're going to put our hands into the shorts and turn it right side out. So just turn the shorts right side out. And now you can see the shorts are really coming together. They look really big, but that's because we've not put elastic in the waist yet. This is definitely a bit more of a boxier fit. But hopefully you can see how easy they are to start taking shape. What we're going to do now is play around with actually inserting and doing the elastic waist. The first thing we're going to want to do is just neaten the top edge, that top waist edge. So we've got the shorts here, this section up here all the way along. We're going to go and open it out and start from the front, go all the way around towards the beginning again, using an overlocker or a zigzag stitch just to neaten this top edge so it won't fray in the next couple of steps. So I've gone ahead and overlocked the waist edge of the short, so that again is what that looks like. Again, you can use a zigzag stitch or pinking shiz, it's totally up to you. I just like that method because it looks really neat from the inside. But now that we've overlocked that waist edge, we're going to go ahead and make the elastic casing. To make these shorts, we're going to want 1 inch wide elastic. I like buying mine on a roll like this because it just gives me so much to use and then I never really run out. So as you can see, it's nice and stretchy when I pull it, and that's exactly what we want for these shorts. You can find this on Amazon or any sort of haberdashery shop. I'll leave a link down below on where I got this one from. But I'm going to take you over to the iron because we're first going to press the casing in place. So here we've got the waist edge of the shorts in front of us. This is the wrong side that's looking at me right now. And I'm going to fold it down like that. So folding the fabric towards the wrong side. And we're going to make sure this measures 1.5 inches. So you can get a measuring tape and then just put that down and have a look at where 1.5 inches is. So I would say about there. And we're just going to press that in place all the way around the entire top edge of the shorts. So now that we've pressed the entire edge of the shorts, that top waist down by 1.5 inches, that's what it looks like. What we're going to do now is sew this at the sewing machine. So if I just show you, this is the front and then the back is at the back right there. We're going to sew all the way around the front and the back. But when we get to the back point, we're going to leave a gap. I actually might mark it to show you what I mean. This is the back short right here. We're going to leave a 2-inch gap roughly from here to here. That part we're going to leave open. So we're going to start here, stitch all the way around, and we're going to stop when we get to that point. I thought I'd just zoom in just to show you that 2-inch gap right here. We're going to sew this really close to the edge. I like to sew it maybe 1 centimeter away from the edge, but it's totally up to you. You can sew directly on that edge. It's just so we tack the entire fabric down to the main shorts. So now that I've gone ahead and sewn the casing down to the elastic, that should be what it looks like. And at the back, where is it? I've left a gap. So here we are, this is the back. And this right here where that gap is left, I can push my finger through that little gap, and that's how you know you've done that correctly. What we're going to do now is actually put the elastic into the casing. Now I tell you in the instructions exactly how much elastic to cut for your size, but once you've got your elastic cut out, I'm going to get a safety pin and just pierce the safety pin through the elastic like that. And this is just going to make it so much easier to push it through the casing and make sure it doesn't get lost inside. So here is that gap that we left in the back. I'm going to take my elastic and push it through the casing like so. And then using that safety pin, I'm going to push the entire elastic around the waist. And I'm just going to make sure this edge doesn't go inside because we want this to stay free. So as I'm pushing it around, I'm using my fingers to just go all the way around. As I'm going round, you can see the elastic is getting shorter at this end. We want to hold this with our fingers just to make sure it doesn't go in by accident. And then I'm going to continue to push the elastic around the safety pin all the way round. And here we are, I've come to the other side. I'm going to pull the elastic through and out like that. And then I'm going to take both of these elastic ends and just pin them together. So let me take the safety pin out, and I'm using my clip just to pin them together for now. And you also want to make sure that they are flat as well and they're not twisted. Now at the sewing machine, I'm just going to sew this together using a zigzag stitch just to make it nice and secure. So I sewed the elastic ends together. I first sewed it like that, and then I opened it out and also just top stitched that bit down. What we can do now is literally pull the shorts like that at the waist and push the elastic inside the casing, and we're going to evenly distribute the elastic. And as I've done that, you can see the shorts look so nice at the waist. We now need to just at the back where we left that opening, pull it like this and sew that gap shut that we left open before. So we are so nearly finished with the shorts. This is what they're looking like. You can see the waist is finished so nicely, and you can see that nice elastic detail at the waist. So all that's left to do now is literally just hem the shorts and also sew a label on the back. Let me show you how easy it is to hem shorts. So I've got the bottom of the shorts here, and this is the right side facing up, but I'm going to open it up. So this is the wrong side over here. I'm going to fold the shorts over. I'm going to press it in place all the way along, and then I'm going to fold it again by the same amount, press it in place, and then also sew it really close to the edge. So I've just gone ahead and finished sewing the hem, and I also sewed a label at the back as well. It's so cute. And the shorts now are completely finished. They are so adorable and they're so easy to sew. So if you are a beginner, this is going to be the perfect project for you to try. Let me show you what they look like on. I honestly just love how stretchy and fun the waist is. It's so comfortable to wear, and obviously it has side seam pockets, so it's really comfortable and also just really practical to wear as well. So this pattern comes in a trouser version and a shorts pattern, so you can sew both. It's totally up to you which one you want to sew. If you are a beginner, shorts might be easier because there's less fabric for you to deal with, but I'll leave a link down below to where you can find the pattern. I hope you enjoyed seeing how easy it is to sew your first pair of shorts. Honestly, like I said, they really are such a great beginner friendly project fabric to try, and it allows you to sew something that has an elasticated waistband, so it's really fluctuating and easy to sew for your own body. I love how the mustard gingham worked out as well. This fabric is perfect for using on shorts for summer. I just honestly love how they look. Definitely let me know down in the comments if you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.